Watership Down, Chapter 37. The Thunder Builds Up. Bigwig's first impulse was to fight Woundwort on the spot. He realized immediately that this would be futile and would only bring the whole place down around his ears. There was only one thing to do but to obey, and he followed Woundwort through the undergrowth and into the shade of the bridle path. Despite the sunset, the evening seemed heavy with clouds, and among the trees it was sultry and grey. The thunder was building up. He looked at Woundwort and waited. "You were out of the Nearhind burrows this afternoon," began Woundwort. "Yes, sir," replied Bigwig. He still disliked addressing Woundwort as sir, but since he was supposed to be an Afraffan officer, he could not very well do otherwise. However, he did not add that Sherville had given him permission. He had not been accused of anything yet. "Where did you go?" Bigwig swallowed his annoyance. No doubt Woundwort knew perfectly well where he'd been. "I went to the left flank mark, sir. I was in their burrows." "Why did you go there?" "Oh, to pass the time and learn something from listening to the other officers." "Did you go anywhere else?" "No, sir." "You met one of the left flank Ausla, a rabbit named Groundsel." "Oh, very likely. I didn't learn all their names." "Have you ever seen this rabbit before?" "Well, no, sir. How could I?" And there was a pause. "May I ask what this is all about, sir?" said Bigwig. "I'll ask the questions," said Woundwort. "Groundsel has seen you before. He knew you by that fur on top of your head. And where do you think it was he saw you?" "I have no idea." "Have you ever run away from a fox?" Yes, sir, a few days ago, while I was on my way here." "And you led it on to some other rabbits, and it killed one of them. Isn't that correct?" "I didn't mean to lead it on to them. I didn't even know they were there." "And you didn't bother to tell me about this?" "Well, it never occurred to me. There's nothing wrong with a rabbit running from a fox." "But you caused the death of an Afraffan officer." "But quite by accident, and the fox might have caught him anyway, even if I hadn't been there." "It wouldn't have," said Woundwort. "Captain Mallow wasn't the rabbit to run onto a fox. Foxes aren't even dangerous to rabbits who know what they're doing." "Well, I'm terribly sorry the fox got him, sir. It was a stroke of very bad luck." And Woundwort just stared at him from his great pale eyes. "Then one more question, Thlaley. That patrol was on the track of a band of rabbits, strangers. What do you know about them?" "Oh, yes, I saw the tracks, too, around that time, but I really can't tell you any more than that." "So you weren't with them?" "Well, if I'd been with them, sir, would I have come here to Ephrata? I told you I'd ask the questions. So you can't tell me where they might have gone?" "I'm afraid I can't, sir." Woundwort stopped staring, and he sat silent for some time. Bigwig felt that the general was waiting for him to ask if that was all, or whether he could go now. But he determined to remain silent himself. "Now there's another thing," said Woundwort at last, "about this white bird in the field this morning. You're not afraid of these birds?" "Well, no, sir. I've never heard of one of them hurting a rabbit." "But they have been known to, and for all your wide experience, Thlaley. Anyway, why did you go near it?" And Bigwig thought quickly. "To tell you the truth, sir, I probably was trying to make an impression on Captain Sherville." "Well, you could have a worse reason, I suppose. But if you're going to impress anyone, you'd better start with impressing me. And the day after tomorrow, I'm taking out a wide patrol myself. It will cross the Iron Road and try to pick up traces of those rabbits, the rabbits that Mallow would have captured if you hadn't gone and blundered upon him. So you better come along and show us how good you are then." "Oh, yes, sir, I shall be glad to." And there was another silence, and this time Bigwig decided to leave. He did so, and immediately a fresh question stopped him short. "When you were with Hazel, did she tell you why she was put into the Nearhind mark?" "Yes, sir." "I'm not at all sure the trouble's finished with her, Thlaley. Keep an eye on her. If she'll talk to you, so much the better. Perhaps the does are settling down, perhaps they're not, but I need to know." "Oh, very well, sir," said Bigwig. "That's all," said Woundwort. You get back to your mark now." And so Bigwig made his way into the field. Silflay was nearly over. The sun had actually set, and it was growing dark, and heavy clouds dimmed the afterlight. Kihar was nowhere to be seen, and the sentries came in, and the mark began to go underground. And sitting alone in the grass, he waited until the last rabbit had disappeared. There was still no sign of Kihar. He hopped slowly to the hole. Entering, he bumped into one of the police escorts, who was blocking the mouth to make sure that Blackavar did not try to bolt as he was taken down below. "Get out of my way, you dirty little bloodsucker," said Bigwig. "Now go and report that," he added over his shoulder, as he made his way down to his burrow. And as the light faded from the thick sky, Hazel slipped once more across the hard bare earth under the railway arch. He came out on the north side and sat up to listen. A few moments later, Fiver joined him, and they crept a little way into the field, towards Ephrathah. The air was close and warm and smelt of rain and ripening barley. There was no sound close by, but behind and below them, from the water meadow on the near bank of the Test River, came very faintly the shrill, incessant fussing of a pair of sandpipers. Kihar flew down from the top of the embankment. "You're sure he said tonight?" asked Hazel, for the third time. "He's bad," said Kihar. "Maybe they catch him. He's finished, Mr. Pigfig, you think?" Hazel made no reply. I can't tell," said Fiver. "It's like clouds and thunder. That place down the field there, it's like the bottom of a river to me. Anything could be happening down there." "Bigwig's there. Suppose he's dead. Suppose they're trying to make him—" "Hazel," said Fiver. "Hazelra, you won't help him by staying here in the dark and worrying. Quite likely, there's nothing wrong. He just had to sit tight and change plans for some reason. Anyway, he won't be coming here tonight. That's certain now. And our rabbits are in danger here. Kihar can go up tomorrow at dawn and perhaps bring us another message." "I dare say you're right," said Hazel, "but I hate to go. Just suppose he were to arrive. Let Silver take them back. I'll stay here." "Well, you couldn't do any good by yourself, Hazel, even if your leg was all right. You're trying to eat grass that hasn't even grown yet. Just give it a chance." They returned under the arch, and as Silver came out of the bushes to meet them, they could hear other rabbits stirring uneasily among the nettles. "We'll have to give it up for tonight, Silver," said Hazel. "We must get them back over the river now, before it's completely dark." "Hazelra," said Pipkin, as he slipped past, it's going to be all right, isn't it? Bigwig will come tomorrow, won't he?" "Of course he will," said Hazel, "and we'll all be here to help him. And I'll tell you something else, LaRue. If he doesn't come tomorrow, I'm going to Ephrathah myself." "I'll come with you, Hazelra," said Pipkin. Bigwig crouched in his burrow, pressed against Hazelflay. He was trembling, not with cold, for the stuffy runs of the mark were dense with thunder. The air felt like a deep drift of leaves. Bigwig was close to utter nervous exhaustion, and since leaving General Woundwort, he had become more and more deeply entangled in all of the age-old terrors of the conspirator. How much had Woundwort discovered? Clearly, there was no information that failed to reach his ears. He knew that Hazel and the rest had come from the north and had crossed the Iron Road. He knew about the fox. He knew that a seagull, which should have been far away at this time of year, was hanging around Ephrathah, and that he, Bigwig, had deliberately been near it. He knew that Bigwig had made a friend of Hazelflay. How long would it be before Woundwort took the final step of fitting all of these pieces together? Perhaps he'd already done so, and was merely waiting to arrest them in his own time. Woundwort had every advantage. He sat secure at the junction of all pathways, seeing clearly down each one, while he, Bigwig, crazy with his efforts to measure up to him as an enemy, clambered clumsily and ignorantly through the undergrowth, betraying himself with every movement. He did not know how to get in touch with Kihar again, and even if he managed to do so, would Hazel be able to bring the rabbits a second time? Perhaps he'd already been spotted by Campion on patrol. To speak to Blackavar would also be suspect. To go near Kihar would be suspect. Through more holes than he could possibly stop, His secrets were pouring out. But there was worse to come. "Flaley," whispered Hazel, "do you think that you and I and Thuthanang could run away tonight? If we fought the sentry at the mouth of the run, we might be able to get clear before a patrol would start after us." "Why?" asked Bigwig. "What makes you ask that?" "I'm frightened. We told the other does, you see, just before Silflay, and they were ready to run when the bird attacked the sentries, but then nothing happened. They all know about the plan, Nelthilta and the rest, and it won't be long before the council will find out. Of course, we've told them that their lives depend on keeping quiet, and that you're going to try again. Thuthanang's watching them now. She says she'll do her best not to sleep, but no secret can be kept in Ephrata. It's even possible that one of the does is a spy, although Frith knows we chose them as carefully as we could. We may all be arrested before tomorrow morning." Bigwig tried to think clearly. He could certainly succeed in getting out with a couple of resolute, sensible does, but the sentries, unless he could kill them, would raise the alarm at once, and he could not be sure of finding his way to the river in the dark. And even if he did, it was possible that the pursuit might follow him over the plank bridge and into the middle of his unprepared sleeping friends. And at the best, he would have come out of Ephrata with no more than maybe 2 does, because his nerves had failed him. Silver and the others would not understand what he had had to endure. They would only know that he had run away. "No, we can't give up yet," he said, as gently as he could. "It's the thunder and the waiting that make you feel so upset. Listen, I promise that by this time tomorrow you will be out of Ephrata forever, and the others with you. Now, go to sleep here for a little while, and then go back and help the Thuthanang. Keep thinking of those high downs and all that I told you, and we'll get there. Our troubles aren't going to last much longer." And as she fell asleep beside him, Bigwig wondered how on earth he was going to fulfill this promise, and whether they would be woken by council police. "If we are," he thought, "I'm going to fight until they tear me to bits. They're not going to make a Blackavar out of me." And when he woke, he found that he was alone in his burrow. For a moment he wondered whether Hyacinthe had been arrested, and then he felt sure that the Ozlafa could not have removed her while he slept. She must have woken and slipped back to the Thuthanang without disturbing him. It was a little before dawn, but the oppression in the air had not lessened. He slipped up the run to the entrance. Moneywort, the sentry on duty, was peering uneasily out of the mouth of the hole, but turned as Bigwig approached. "I just wish it would rain, sir," he said. "The thunder's enough to turn the grass sour, but there's not much hope of it breaking before evening, I'd say." "Well, it's bad luck for the Mark's last day on dawn and evening," replied Bigwig. "Go and wake Captain Sherville. I'll take your place here until the Mark comes up." And when Moneywort had left, Bigwig sat in the mouth of the hole and sniffed at the heavy air. The sky seemed as close as the tops of the trees, covered with still cloud, and flushed on the morning side with a lurid foxy glow. Not a lark was up, not a thrush was singing. The field before him was empty and motionless, and the longing to run came over him. In less than no time he could be down to the arch, and it was a safe bet that Campion and his patrol would not be out in weather like this, for every living creature up and down the fields must be muted, pressed down, as though under a great soft paw. Nothing would be moving, for the day was so unpropitious, and instincts were blurred, and not to be trusted. It was a time to crouch and be silent. But a fugitive would be safe. Indeed, he could not hope for a better chance. "O Lord, with the starlit eyes, send me a signal," said Bigwig. He heard movement in the run behind him. It was the Ozlafa bringing their prisoner, and in the thundery twilight, Blackavar looked more sick and dejected than ever. His nose was dry, and the whites of his eyes showed. Bigwig went out into the field and pulled a mouthful of clover and brought it back to him. "Cheer up," he said to Blackavar. "Have some clover." "That's not allowed, sir," said the escort. "Let him have it, Bartzia," said the other. "There's no one to see. It's hard enough for everyone on a day like this. let alone our prisoner.